Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell. Today I'm going to review and talk about this 2-bay drive enclosure from Icy Dock. Okay, this right here is the Icy Dock, dual bay, hot swap, 2.5-inch dry bay system, and this is what the box looks like. Well, I'm going to get my fingers out of the way, but anyway, that's what the box looks like. And I got this one off of eBay. They're not cheap. These are pretty expensive. I think I paid like around $46 for this dry bay. I mean, yeah, they're not cheap. But I heard that these were good quality, and I need to replace the drives in my main computer for my YouTube videos, you know, and I figure, well, this would be a good way to be able to add my solid state drives, you know. Anyway, let's take a look at this. Okay, got some screws in the box. Alrighty. Alrighty, we got the instructions. Well, I pulled away. That's the instructions. Okay, it's not much to it. I think it's just one fold out of instructions. Anyway, I don't need those. Okay, so this here is the Icy Dock. That's the front of it. And, well, let me get my pointer. Yeah. Yeah, that's the Icy Dock. And these right here are your eject buttons. And they have built-in blue LEDs. They stay on to indicate power, and then they blink to indicate drive activity. And then this is the rear, you know, of the Icy Dock. Alright, so, alrighty, what I want to do, okay, what I want to talk about first, okay. A lot of people, I've been reading the reviews on this, and a lot of people are complaining that this Icy Dock is a little bit too tight. That it's too hard to press the drives in and to eject them. Well, what's going on here, okay, first of all, you have to make sure that the actual, the SATA connector here lines up with the SATA connector that's inside the Icy Dock. If it's not, it will offer a lot of resistance until it is lined up. So that's probably what's going on. Okay, another thing is that inside the Icy Dock, okay, the SATA connectors are toward the bottom of each of the drive bays. So when you line this up, make sure it's toward the bottom of the drive bay. And also, when you look inside here, there's like a spring clip that presses down on the top of the drive. And there's two reasons for that. Number one is to make sure that when you press the eject button, okay, the drive's not going to just fly out. Okay, it'll just pop out and you just pull it out the rest of the way. The second reason for that is, if you notice on these drives here, on the SATA connector, okay, there's contacts on the bottom of the SATA connector, right here. Okay, actually it's this one here. This is your power connector. But there's no contacts up on top. So what the clip inside the Icy Dock does, it forces the drive, it forces pressure, forces the back part of this drive down, so that it makes these contacts here make firm contact with the contacts that are inside the Icy Dock. That's what the clips that are inside the Icy Dock, that's what they're for. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do first is I want to put my Icy Dock into this 3.5 inch to 5.25 inch drive and enclosure, because I don't have a 3.5 inch drive bay in my case. So we're going to put that in like that, and yeah. Oh, come on, I hate these bags. Okay, I can see now. I'm going to have to get my 7-power magnifier goggles. Yeah, I'm an old man, so sometimes I can't see as good as I used to. Anyway. Okay, there's that. It pulls open. Now, one thing I do recommend on these Icy Docks, because they do require a little bit of force to not only insert the drives, but also to eject them, the drive needs to be firmly mounted into your case. Okay, in other words, you can't use the screwless design where you just slide in your drive and then you slide over these plastic pieces to clip the drive in place. That's not going to work with an Icy Dock. You really need to firmly bolt this thing in place. Okay, and that could be part of the problem that a lot of you are having, you know, because the new cases are basically screwless. You know, a lot of them. You just slide the drive in and then you just pop these plastic clips over or whatever, and that's not going to work with the Icy Dock. The Icy Dock should be firmly secure, firmly mounted inside your case. You notice I'm using all 6 screws to mount this in this adapter. Okay, so we got that like that. Okay, there's that. Alright, and now what I like to do is just get in here like this, make sure they're secure. Okay. Alrighty. All right, so there's that. Okay, there's that. Okay, it's in the 3.5 to 5.25 inch drive enclosure. Now there might be like a little bit of a lip here. Now I don't know if that's gonna. It's fine up top here, but on the bottom here there's a little bit of a lip. If the bottom drive catches on that, then you may have to, before you put this Icy Dock inside this adapter, you might have to take a file and just lightly file that down a little bit. Just take your time, do a good job so it looks nice, and just file a little bit of that plastic off. But let's see if there's going to be a problem first. Okay, I have an SSD drive here. Alright. Now, these Icy Docks, well, this particular one here, will only accept up to a 9.5 millimeter thick drive. So, yeah. So this PNY drive, okay, is 7 millimeters thick. So it'll slide in with no problem. But if you're having a hard time lining up the drive, okay, with the SATA connectors on the drive with the SATA connectors inside the Icy Dock, included with most of your solid-state drive is this spacer right here. And this spacer happens to be exactly 2.5 millimeters thick. Okay, and it has a peel and stick so that you can peel and stick this directly, to the top. And in this way, when you slide this inside your Icy Dock, the spacing will be correct. But I don't really need to use that. I've never had to use something like that. So, anyway, let's see how well this slides in. It's going to offer, a little bit of resistance. So, but there's a clip back here that forces it down. So, actually, that's not bad. That insertion force is not bad at all. I don't know what you people are complaining about because, you just saw me do it. I barely had to put any force on that at all. Now let's eject it. Yeah, the eject's fine. Yeah, you got to put a little bit of pressure on it to eject the drive, but it's fine. I don't see any problem with that. That works fine. Let me try the bottom one. Because remember, it's got a lip on there on the bottom. Now the bottom one, okay. So you don't want to force it. Yeah, the bottom one, I can see people having problems with. But that's because a lot of you are going to be having your Icy Dock in something like this because cases today, they don't have 3.5 inch drive bays anymore. So I know a lot of you are going to be using something like this, a 3.5 inch to 5.25 inch adapter. And I think what's happening is you're getting problems with this bottom bay. Because when you try to press it, the drive is going to hit that lip that's on the bottom there. It's going to hit that. Of course, if you lift up a little bit, oh. Yeah, the bottom one is what the problem is. And I think the reason for that, is because, okay, on the top drive bay, there's one clip that's located like right over here. A spring clip that forces the back of the drive down and holds it in place. On the bottom drive bay, there's two metal clips. It's actually part of the top part of the metal. There's two clips. So I don't know if that's the reason why the bottom bay is harder to insert a drive and also to eject it. But it does work. You know, you saw me do it on the camera. But if you're using an adapter like this, part of the problem for the bottom drive bay might be that there's a little lip right here, and you just need to file that down a little bit before mounting this in this adapter. And make sure there's no lip right here. And I'm going to do that off camera on mine to make sure that it works. But you shouldn't have any problems at all with the top bay. I mean, yeah, it's meant to be a little snug. It's meant to be a little bit snug. That's just the way it's made. See, I had no problems pushing that in. No problems at all. And the eject button pops out. And when I plug this into my system, this will glow blue and it'll blink when there's drive activity. Okay, let's try a normal, a mechanical hard drive. I've got a Seagate mechanical hard drive. Let's try one of those. It's a SATA. Okay, and we'll slide this one into the bottom port. I think the mechanical ones, because they have a metal case, they might, yeah, they go in better. That actually slid in with no problem. But you can see how both of the eject buttons are out now. You know, you can see how they're both out. But anyway, yeah. That's the Icy Dock. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and one thing I forgot to mention. Okay. There's only one power connector for both of the drive bays. So you just have just one power connector that you plug in. And then this one here is for the lower drive bay, the SATA connector. And then this SATA connector is for the upper drive bay. So that's how that works. Okay. Now, if you're using, I don't recommend using a mechanical hard drive in the Icy Dock. But if you do, I'd recommend putting the mechanical hard drive in the top bay, because as you can see, there's cooling vents here, and that will allow the heat from the mechanical drive to escape. You know, but these, I think these are best suited. The Icy Dock is best suited for 2 solid-state drives. I think it's best suited for that. Yeah. Anyway. That is the hot-swappable 2-drive bay system from Icy Dock. And I thought I'd show you this product today on my channel. I like it. I'm going to be using it in my computer. Anyway, my name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.